So it's been a little over 12 hours since the most recent Armory update released to Counter-Strike 2, and CS fans, at least at this time, seem to be more divided than ever. Now this update's main focus is on cosmetics, introducing more than 100 new skins, keychains, stickers, a new case, alongside a battle pass-like system. Now on paper, this seems like an operation, and for a big chunk of the community, they're gonna call it exactly that. But when you deep dive in to see how some fans feel, there's a large portion of players that feel like this is just a last-second cash grab from Valve to ease the community after a year of waiting for a bunch of new cosmetics, an operation type of update, and you get the rest. Now for those who were interested, late last night I released my video showcasing the update with cosmetics for the Armory update itself, but today is everything but cosmetics, where we're just going to be breaking down bug fixes, the small additions with content in the game that you can mainly easily miss with a first glance, and the small fix of gameplay additions as well. Now today's video sponsor is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a CS2 trading site for all your skin needs. Whether you're choosing to deposit your in-game items or real-life cash, SkinsMonkey has it all. If you choose to trade yet need to top up your balance, you can do so by also using my code MANDO for a free $5. Alongside depositing, you get an additional 35% of a deposit bonus. With SkinsMonkey's large variety of skins, they also offer daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. If interested, the link will be in the top of the description down below. Now very quickly before the video starts, we do have some brand new news saying CS2 could very well receive a couple of new game modes, being Prop Hunt and Street Fighter, similar to Sleet Fighter from Dota 2 from Crownfall 3 a couple of months ago. And with that, alongside a rework of Train Near Complete via last night's data mines, that would be even closer to an official operation, which Valve and the community already considers. Now firstly for today's video is breaking down last night's blog post, which had a total of 11 categories, and surprisingly enough, with all the cosmetics we got, there's actually a lot to discover with gameplay. Now at a first glance, this update can be extremely overwhelming based on how many skins we got and new cosmetics, and it makes you think that Valve didn't even care or really acknowledge CS2 gameplay-wise as a whole, which that can't be further from the truth. Now out of the box after this update, we can see that Valve fixed many problems with movement, networking, and in some cases performance, making CS2 feel much smoother and better than it did previously. Valve changed dozens, and I mean dozens of different animations. The biggest one I'd say throughout this update, and maybe one of the biggest things throughout this entire day, is Valve changed and made walking better. So it's safe to say, at least for now, that the MJ peak is gone forever. Now how you view some of your teammates and just other players on the map when you get swung, it's not really gonna feel like you're a piece of goo anymore. When you peek a corner, you can go right back. So it's gonna feel a little bit more like how CSGO did. Now hopping onto the blog post from last night, October 2nd, there's 11 different categories, and it's a pretty hefty update, that being 5 gigs. So we're just gonna brief over every individual category with the most important points and some things behind the scenes that haven't been noted. First up is the Armory category, which isn't necessarily gameplay, but I feel like this is important to mention. Instead of like how in prior operations you could only buy 1 pass, this time around you can buy 5, and since you can't buy stars, you earn all your XP just by playing the game, and all 5 of those all go at once. Now for the inventory and items category, there's much to discuss, but most of these changes and additions can be found in last night's update or just the Armory blog post in general. The most important thing to note that wasn't included in last night's blog post was that anything that is traded to you is not marketable for 7 days, because if you receive something in a trade, you could sell it immediately in the Steam market. You just couldn't trade it. But now you can't even market it, which makes it really interesting. Now for the animation category, this is where things get interesting. Valve improved character posing when on large slopes. Now this was pretty much a meme since the beginning of CS2, back from the limited test until now. Whenever your character was in a really weird angle or spot, especially on ladders, your character would sometimes appear differently to other people in the game, from your teammates to the enemy, and even yourself when you flip out to third person. So now your character just looks more normal when pretty much on every single slope. And as it stands for the MJ pin, Valve specifically stated that they made the feet pin and unpin differently for all use cases to help improve the aggressively lean characters, aka the MJ lean. Now this has been fixed for quite some time, but a huge reason why CS2 has not felt, well, as good and crisp as CSGO, yes, goes into the hit detection, yes, goes into subtick, which some of that has also been fixed, but a big chunk of that reason is because of how your character moves. Whenever you peeked a corner previously, you'd be like a bunch of goo, where your head would stick out for a minute and then, well, just bobble right back. This time around, it looks and feels a lot more like CSGO. Even while playing the game, it's very noticeably different. Now, like you just mentioned, Valve changed the animation while being on a ladder, so your in-game character correctly lines up for what direction and where you're going. And everything else in the animation category is just quality of life updates, making things, well, more visually appealing, but also just feel much better on the playing and receiving end. Now, very similar to animation, a big play into how Counter-Strike now, well, just feels a lot different than it previously did after last night's update is because of networking. Now, just like animation, how it made Counter-Strike feel like an entirely new game overnight is also in the networking category. Now, the only Valve dev, especially in the CS department, that has used social media, that being Twitter, put out a tweet a couple of days ago stating that he was working on an update specifically just for networking, and while for the most part it worked. They changed how packet misdelivery was measured. And from the reception I've heard from some of my friends, but also people online, the ping problems that we've had in CS2 versus Go are almost gone. What I mean by that is 40 ping in CS2 versus Go didn't really feel like 40 ping in CS2. It more so felt like 80 in CSGO, if that makes any sort of sense. Now that feels a whole bunch better, which definitely affects how you can hit shots and just use your overall movement. And lastly for today's update, update, Valve fixed dozens of bugs for Ancient, Anubis, Dust 2, Italy, Mirage, Nuke, and Overpass. But specifically for Italy, they now added it to competitive matchmaking, which really makes me think who even plays competitive when you have Premier inside CS2, because if you're not playing Premier or Deathmatch, you're probably playing Face It. Now the biggest and best change from last night was most definitely the gameplay category, mainly how CS2 feels so much more smooth and just better, similar to CSGO. But on the other hand of things, we also had a massive downgrade in FPS. Now myself, after playing a few matches, CS2 feels smooth, yes, it's just FPS is down, and down a lot. Should I really be getting sub 200 FPS on a 4080 card? Mainly had that problem on Vertigo and Inferno, whereas before I usually got 300 to 400. And not to mention Valve also broke surfing. After making additions and improvements to things like animations while on a ladder, it makes for a way smoother and optimized experience, and of course with things like the MJ peak being fully removed and the game not feeling as gooey, we're one step closer to making CS2 feel more like CSGO. But I feel like I should note that CS2 was never intended to feel and play like CSGO. CS2 is a new experience and a new engine, and just like every other new Counter-Strike title, they all play and feel differently. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay positive, sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.